Hey guys, I'm Phil and welcome to the show. Today I'm going to be doing a live cast of Rapha vs Dahang from Dreamhack Winter here in the semi-final, first map, Ruins of Sarnath. I haven't watched these games yet, I'm just going to be talking about it as it happens, and what an action-packed start with Dahang hitting a railgun right off the bat here, and a follow-up. Rapha absolutely on death's door. He's frantically trying to hit some rockets there. I think he's determined to not let Dahang get away with this one too easily, and you can see how fearlessly he's approached the rest of this situation, partly because he was able to stack up so much on these HP bubbles, and partly because if he doesn't play fearlessly there, he gets nothing. You know, he has to get on those HP bubbles, he gets himself some armor, and I mean, he's able to create enough space just in how he moves around that he gets himself the red armor as well. So this is a really important Quake skill, right? To know when to roll over, when to show your belly to your opponent, or rather to not show your belly to your opponent, you know, to stay well out of sight, and when to fly around the map with the rocket launcher out and just be a nuisance so that you can get yourself on an item. And he's done it again here, right? With basically no engagement, he gets himself the red. And Dahang, well, he's not too fussed right now. I mean, he's the man with a plan. He's just able to back off onto the Mega here. He would love to hit a railgun again. You know, the railgun is a great way to open these fights against the Anarchy. Likewise for the Anarchy opening fights against the Slash, but slightly less so because Slash has just that slightly higher stack. So in the railgun duels, overall Slash is going to come out slightly in front, partly because of that one railgun, well, that two railgun threshold for Anarchy a lot of the time. Great pressure here from Rapha. He does not want to let Dahang get away. But Dahang is just hitting the shots. Like, Rapha does everything well there, but that one exit rail from Dahang just puts Rapha in such an awkward position. Rapha backs away onto the Mega, which is good. You know, well done to keep track of that, to know he can back off to it. Dahang kind of sticks his head out in case Rapha, like, gets greedy or anything. But Rapha isn't one to do that. Rapha floating around the bottom of the map here, he's in a position where any sound cues are going to give him a lot of options, and right there he gets a cue that tells him to move forwards, but Dahang with the shutdown. Beautiful work there, just beautiful timing, you know, fantastic prediction of what Rapha wanted to do. Rapha is going to be kicking himself after that one. Rapha wastes no time pushing in towards the Mega, and, I mean, I think he actually gets the punch off there too, so just utilizing that Doomslayer already. Rapha equalizes the game right there, right? And, I mean, hitting a railgun off the pad as well, and the plasma trail in return, so, you know, just crazy pace from these two. I think Rapha equalized the game there with his Doom. He spent his Doom, and he completely stopped Dahang's momentum at a point where, you know, Dahang could have cleaned up the map, he could have gotten a really big stack, and it could have been really hard for Rapha to break him. But now we've got the Doom on Dahang, and that is not a character anyone wants to play into at the moment, but Rapha can hit the shots to deal with it. That is great play from Rapha right there. He just keeps his distance, you know, he doesn't play into the strengths of the Doom, which is that close range punch. Beautiful dodging from Rapha. What a way to spin that round completely on its head. You know, mostly off of that one situation where he, like I said, he spent his Doomslayer. He invested his Doomslayer's stack just to bring it back, to stop Dahang's momentum flat, and make sure that he could win that round. Alright, a much more sensible spawn this time. Nothing too crazy between these two off the start. Rapha catches Dahang up in the air. It's nice for Rapha, but he's going to eat that rail, and he can't get away fast enough. So that just goes to show how squishy Anarchy is at the start of these rounds, you know. Like, the two railgun frag, you know. It comes out so quickly, you have to be so on the ball to not get caught out by it, and Rapha, it felt like he had the momentum in that situation, it felt like he was doing everything right. Rapha on the slash of his own there, tries to make a really ballsy play through that Mega, like, tries to pick it up right on the second and just fly into Dahang's face. It doesn't work out. But, you know, watching these games, and watching the event in general, it's safe to see we're seeing a very different form of Rapha here than we saw at QuakeCon or any other event. Any other event ever, really. Tries to fight Dahang there in the connector. Dahang says, well, here's my plasma trail. You know, we can keep playing that plasma trail game. Yeah, just these games, you know, you would expect matches between these two to be a lot slower, I would think, and from what we've seen in Quake Live and, you know, just what we know about these guys, but they've both seemed to have gotten into the spirit of Quake Champions a bit more. This really aggressive, in-your-face style, you know, not giving your opponent any room to breathe, and just trying to play this really heavy execution style. Dahang looking for these opening railguns again. They've proved very effective at the start of every other round, so there's no reason to change it up now, and he's very, very close to Rapha's position here with this. Just trying to get that initial little peek. And here it doesn't come out. We split out the items. Dahang able to get himself a rocket launcher safely as well. And this is an advantage of going for this mega. We did see Dahang prioritizing it there. Great damage from Rapha. I like how Dahang moved around the eye there. The eye is very, very hard to do rocket damage on, I've noticed. You can do some real bullshit kind of dancing around it. You can cause your opponent a lot of headaches. So both players get off and get stacked back up. And the next rotation of items is going to be a split again. These guys don't want to do anything too crazy while their stacks are still reasonably low. They're happy, they're both confident enough to play this engage and back off and engage and back off style. Whereas maybe a less experienced and less confident player would feel the need to press while both stacks were low. Because there may be a more variable outcome, you know. These guys want as much stack on their end as possible because they believe that they can best their opponent in the game of wits as well as the game of mechanical skill. And, well, it's Rapha winning the game of mechanical skill there. He forces Dahang into an awful position and hits just brutal damage onto him. So Dahang forced to skate his way around the back of the map. He's just waiting for a sound cue or waiting for Rapha to give him some clue about where to go. Great exit route there from Rapha. It's not the route the in control player will usually take. And I say in control with a grain of salt. You know, a railgun will separate these guys. Control is fairly quick to change here in Quake Champions. Rapha, great little frag there. You know, again, using the power of those rockets. So Rapha actually gets both major items here. This hasn't happened much so far this game. I have just been attacked by a moth. I'm very sorry. Oh, and this is beautiful play by Rapha, pushing up those stairs. He's really, really hard to hit. He has this kind of peeker's advantage, while Dahang's just stuck totally out in the open. Great little prediction shot. This should be the end of Dahang again, and it is. So Rapha, you know, he does not want to let this one go easily. And Dahang really on the ropes now. He rushes up for the rocket launcher, and this is such a crucial gun in the current way the game plays. If you don't have a rocket launcher, you can't defend yourself at all, so Dahang's right to prioritize it, especially as the Nyx when you have that Ghost Walk. He's really trying not to pop the Ghost Walk, and actually, I mean, he must be on literally 1 HP here, because the bar is empty. But yeah, Dahang is able to find some HP, he is able to stack himself back up. Rapha doesn't want to press too hard for the frag, you know, he knows he has Dahang on the ropes. Rapha can just play his game, he can just play safe and secure. It's up to Dahang to play into Rapha, to make this difference back, and to win the round, you know. And I mean, Dahang's doing a great job there, that was some crazy combat. That's the kind of move that's going to make Rapha regret trying to play safe, when Dahang can just absolutely... I don't have words for that right there, you know, that's great utilization of the wall jumping, and just so many things. Oh, one punch would leave Dahang on about 1 HP, I think, so very lucky Dahang's able to get away from there so well. Mega's gonna be coming up. Alright, so between the red and, the heavy armor, sorry, the big armor, and the mega health, we have a fairly decent gap, so a player would, in theory, be able to make it to both if they were feeling particularly aggressive. Great railgun there from Rapha, that should keep Dahang on the outer. Because Rapha has his ultimate up and Dahang has less than 75 HP, Dahang shouldn't show his face here, but he does. So bold there from Dahang. You know, like, a punch would have finished him, but he does get the armor, he sneaks it out. And, I mean, this is probably some mind games going on here, you know, trying to think that Rapha would assume that Dahang would go for the later item or something. You know, just like really reading out how each other want to play and approach the game. But because Rapha's on this Doom and Dahang's on this Nyx, Rapha will always have some kind of stack advantage. The timer is... I always miss the timer counting down here, you know, it feels like the rounds are just over so quickly. Smart play there from Rapha, you know, he's able to force Dahang to play at this distance where Rapha can get the frag really well. And here's a replay of this moment, you know. Just solid rocketing. Alright, we've got the fast characters off the start again. Neither player particularly insistent on the Doom at the start. You know, I think that can definitely be a valid thing if these guys wanted to pick up the Doom. Rapha makes a bit too much noise there and gives away his position. Dahang hits the better damage, so Rapha definitely on the back foot here. very, very early on now in this round. Ooh, some very intimate moments shared there between those two, as the major items are going to be spawning. Dahang shouldn't let Rapha get out of here, and yeah, Dahang's absolutely right to sit here, just put this pressure down. Rapha gets a fair bit of damage off, but Dahang should be able to clean up basically everything. Oh, the Doom respawn from Rapha actually though, that's problematic for Dahang. Because if Rapha wants to get the rockets and go for this, close range punching fight, if he wants to get the punching bug off where you kind of like hit a shot and punch all within the same like microsecond, that could be really problematic for Dahang, even with such a stack. Beautiful rockets there. I mean, absolutely nothing Dahang can do about that. He was in a good position, he was trying to get a read on Rapha and to kind of play around Rapha, and Rapha just completely shat on him with great execution and great aim. We do have a split of the major items. Dahang's going to be trying to collect guns. Rapha is in a position towards the middle of the map where he can hear Dahang try and collect guns and try and collect some damage in return. The damage doesn't come through, so Rapha, he can't get too hot and heavy, he can't just come in fists of fury, but he can continue to sit around the middle of the map and look for these rail guns. Dahang, oh, beautiful dancing there from Dahang. He hit some great shots. Rapha forced to use his berserk in a defensive manner to just run away with his tail between his legs. Mega's gonna be up, and Rapha, well, I don't think Dahang knows that Mega's up, for one thing. I think Dahang has slightly misread the timing here, and Rapha, you can see, even though Dahang hasn't gone for this item, it's still up, because Rapha just doesn't want to take the risk of diving in for it there. And this works out well for Dahang. No, this works out well for Rapha, sorry, because Rapha just heard when that Mega was. He knows how much of a delay there is right here. He can just play this cool. And yeah, I mean, even though Dahang gets there and does so much damage with that pummel, Rapha was the man with the timing. He was the man making the play around the item. Dahang was just kind of rolling the dice a bit with how he approached that. I think that was just, way too risky. And Dahang, he's going to try and finish the round off with that Doom. He's going to try and get the punch if possible. He just goes aggressive to try and play that out. But that's going to be Rapha taking the first map. Alright, I'm going to leave this video here after this first map. Be sure to tune into my channel over the next few days for the conclusion of this exciting series. There's going to be more Quake Champions videos. The patch is coming on Thursday, so that's going to be really exciting. Play more Quake, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching.